walkthrough of my Backstage plugin. I call it Scaffolder Studio, and it helps you to develop Scaffolder templates right inside your Backstage instance. After the installation, you will be presented by this page where you can see we have 4 tabs. 3 of these 4 tabs are scoped to your Backstage identity. So basically this is your own space where you can have your own templates, try run them, develop them, and then after you finish, you can ingest it into your instance. So let's jump into this one. Let's create our first template. As soon as you press the create template, you will be presented by this node-based editor. Here in the right side, you can see we have a big form editor. In the bottom, we have a toolbar where you can add new nodes. And at the top, we have a dry run and search. Let's create our first valid template. So as soon as you create your step node, we can add step nodes into basically these are the actions. So let's add the really basic one. We will just wait for 3 seconds. Let's add the name, Scaffolder demo template. Let's add an owner, and then we can see this is a valid template from this point on. We can see in the YAML view that this is a Backstage template, and this YAML you can edit back and forth between the editor, or you can change the name and ID, so we can see that this is getting changed. When you have your template, you can press try run and try run your template. Now this doesn't really do much, but we can see that it would have waited for 4 seconds. Obviously it will not wait like this. So if we come back and we want to add a little bit more stuff to this one, we have the option to create the proper parameters. I call this input, and then we have an option to add properties, which are basically the variables. Let's add the really basic variable, which we will call name. Who are you? And this, let's make this a required field. Let's add a new action. So we add the new step node with the toolbar or the shortcut. This one will be a debug log action. And this one, let's only run this if the name property actually equals John. And if the name is John, let's say hello and the name. Here, after using the Nunchuck's templating syntax starter like curly braces and $, you will be presented by a popover. This popover lists all the available properties and parameter outputs that you can use from your previous steps. And after selecting one, you can see that we are presented by these available Nunchuck filters or the available Backstage filters in your instance. So now we have this. Let's try run this one. Let's see, who are you? I am John with a lowercase j. And if we see, debug log was successful and actually capitalized on John. So that's amazing. Now what this template is missing is an output section. You can add an output section in the toolbar or by using the shortcuts. Here you can really easily add, this is a new text block or links. And let's just add our markdown here. So in the YAML view, we can see we added our title and content, our text block to the output. If I rerun my dry run, I can see the template output now is presented. In the meantime, I want to show you that you can copy paste and ingest this template into your instance. But what you can do as well is not start from scratch, but you have the option to actually import Scaffolder YAML files, which means they are getting imported into the editor, and you have like a scaffolded way to edit and work with them. It's really advised to change the name, because there could be some name collisions value, or if you ingest it into your Backstage instance. The other big feature I wanted to talk about, I call them prefabs. So what are prefabs? Prefabs are basically atomic parts of a scaffolder template which are reusable. They have a reference to the parent prefab, and every change is there. It's propagate to all of your templates where you use it. It's really basic right now, but you can create a step, an output, or a property prefab. So if I just create a really quick, really easy debug wait 5 action prefab, and I call it a 5 debug wait 5 and 5. Let's wait. All right. So I have my prefab. Now you have the option to go to your template and use this in your template in the prefab tab. What you can do, you can just pull it into your template, wire it up, and immediately we can see that this debug wait step is available in your YAML. Or if you go to your dry run, you can just really quickly see the dry run, and it's running and works. Now the other feature, what you can do with your prefab, if you are happy with your prefab, you have the option to distribute this prefab. You can publish it, and when you publish a prefab, now it will be available in the prefab library. When a prefab is in the prefab library, it is versioned, it is tracking the owner of this prefab. From this point, everybody who has access to the Scaffolder Studio can use these inside their prefab, inside the template editors. So these prefabs are library prefabs, and they are not their own, so they are constructed by someone else. This could be some reusable company-wide logic. I think that's it. That's what I wanted to show right now quickly. Please leave any feedback, open any issues, and any contribution is welcome. Thank you for watching.